Hey there, gamers. DreamcastGuy here, and today we're talking about Xbox because the CEO of Microsoft did a very long interview last night talking about investors and exclusives, and he basically said that Xbox is broke, that they are just completely out of cash, and this new initiative of Xbox Anywhere, the whole idea is putting Xbox games onto Nintendo Switch, onto PlayStation 5, just anywhere that can actually make their money back. And I wanted to talk about this because a lot of Xbox fanboys seem to be incredibly betrayed, incredibly pissed, incredibly disappointed, and we're going to take a look at a bunch of that because honestly, I don't blame them. If you've been playing Xbox now for decades, you had the OG, you had the Xbox One, the 360, if you've been buying these, if you've been collecting controllers and achievements and games, and then suddenly the company just says, you don't matter, it's all about profit margins, it's not about exclusives, I understand people's blowback. But let's take a look at a bunch of it because I've collected a bunch of very angry tweets and stuff, and I want to discuss. Hi, hope you're having a great day, and if you could please give this video a like and subscribe if you haven't already. So to begin with, what are we talking about? So this is the CEO of Microsoft, Satya Nadella. Now this guy has been much more hands-on with Xbox this last couple of years, and it seems like a lot of Xbox fans are not exactly pleased about it because this guy is definitely just in it for profit margins. He's in it for investor meetings. He's not the kind of guy who, no offense to this dude, he doesn't really seem like a gamer. I don't think he knows what Gears of War is, which, is fine. There's a lot of people that are at the tippy top of companies who don't fully understand all the inner workings of it, but he said essentially that they are happy with how the Activision Blizzard deal went. Obviously, Microsoft bought them for billions and billions, tens of billions of dollars, and then immediately put Call of Duty on PlayStation. And it's been selling like crazy on PlayStation. I think the numbers are that 83% of all the copies of Black Ops 6 were actually sold on PlayStation 5, which is a astronomical amount of cash. And he said, okay, we're going to be doing that going forward. We're going to keep doing that. That is our new strategy. That going forward, it's about being able to enjoy Xbox on all your devices. Now, he doesn't say the word PlayStation 5, but it's very obvious what that means. And we're going to take a look at some leakers that essentially said that they have to put stuff on PlayStation in order to make their money back. But this is Destin Legary. Obviously, he's the host of one of the biggest Xbox podcasts, Xbox Unlocked, and he says, welp, there it is. Now, a lot of the replies are like, well, look, if this wasn't clear enough during the FTC trial, I guess it's making it extra crystal clear now. He's not saying anything new that hasn't been said before. A lot of people are basically saying, look, man, he's been hinting about this. They've been dancing around this. It's good that they're finally just explicitly saying there are no Xbox exclusives. There is no red line. Everything, Halo, Gears of War, Forza, Fable, every single game is coming to PlayStation. It's just a matter of time. It's not about if, it's about when. He's not saying anything that hasn't been heard before. I really don't know why anybody would buy the next Xbox. He said console innovation. They aren't leaving hardware behind. I mean, this feels like the last desperate grab that people can say now is, well, it's not like the Xbox is being deleted, it's just irrelevant. I mean, there will still be Xbox consoles, it's just that it'll basically be a third-party device, like buying a Sega console, which has all of its games on every other platform. Now, what do we have next here? So this is something from the founder of Xbox Era, Special Nick. This guy, he has been, in my opinion, I like his opinions. We're going to take a look at this because he is a guy who I think has a very reasonable take where he likes Xbox. He's been a big Xbox fan, but he's also far enough away now where he can kind of just analyze their business dealings. And he says, nobody has an issue with Xbox everywhere. They never did. No one would be unhappy if they're being able to play Xbox games literally anywhere. It's that the ecosystem is the heart of the console. And he extrapolates on this. I think this is a really good point. Game Pass, Play Anywhere, Cloud Remote Play. This is the backbone of the console. So the backbone is the console. These are Xbox games. You need an Xbox. To some degree, there has to be an Xbox for there to be Xbox games, right? So the fact that they keep saying each time they give your people less incentive to buy your console, it erodes the ecosystem long term. That's what makes this all worse. It's not there's two competitors that aren't doing this. They're not giving people less reasons to buy their ecosystem. Once Sony gets their storefront, cross-buy, cross-save portable ducks in a row, it's game over. They are done. I am seeing a lot of Xbox people down in the comments basically saying, this is it. Guaranteed if Steam releases a console, PlayStation will stop putting their games on Steam because all they care about is trying to get those first day one exclusives. Yeah. So I think that Xbox is in a very strange spot because for the last couple of years, they're fanboys. A lot of the messaging, even from the top, people like Phil Spencer, has been the idea that things are about to be great. I think a big reason there is such a diehard community of Xbox fanboys specifically is that underdog effort. It's a bunch of psychology about the fact that people love to cheer on the person that's almost winning, right? They like to actually say, hell yeah, this team was down by 10 points, they came back and they managed to just barely win, and the crowd goes wild. And I think a lot of people have been feeling that about Xbox, this concept that, yeah, they're in a bad place now, but the next Forza, the next big game, the next big Halo, the next big project, Fable's going to finally get things going. And now to learn that Xbox doesn't care about Xbox, that Microsoft just considered them a subdivision, the same way they treat Microsoft Word or an Excel spreadsheet. They don't actually care about the games or the platform or obviously the console itself. Now, let's get into the leaks because this is something that to me was kind of wild. So, famous leaker Jez Corden of Windows Central said that at this point, every single game is going to PlayStation 5. The ones that don't go to PlayStation will be the rare exceptions. Even Halo, Forza, Gears of War games commonly associated with the Xbox brand are not off the table. Oh man, it is wild to see this. And I keep seeing now these huge mega posts from Xbox fanboys talking about the fact that this is the death of Xbox. This is Clyobryle, and he says, you know what, I'm just going to use this post for future reference because people keep asking me my thoughts on this. So here is my thoughts on the Xbox multi-platform strategy. I just want to read this first paragraph of it. I'll be honest, his entire thing here is so good. I was tempted to make the entire video about this post because I think it is so good, but let me just say this at the very start here. It's funny they call it Project Latitude, which this is the thing inside of Xbox. Apparently, this is the internal code name for the fact that they're taking every Xbox game and currently optimizing them for the PlayStation 5 and the PlayStation 5 Pro. So a lot of games that were released on the Xbox Series X are well, they're objectively going to look and play better on the PS5. But he's saying this, it's funny they call it Project Latitude because it suggests that primarily they only see growth with width in their strategy that might give them. Modern Microsoft is almost completely driven by data and research, not so much by the ability to recognize intangible effects or broader social developments, something many of us would call common sense. Over 20 years of Xbox legacy has proven that again and again. Unfortunately, releasing games on multiple platforms, making it available to potential players will result in more upfront revenue, but that's going to tank the brand. This multi-platform approach from Xbox comes with its own costs, from added development challenges to the most important one, the potential loss of your own identity and the loss of customers to other ecosystems. And this is an interesting idea, that Microsoft is, in a way, cannibalizing sales. This is a topic people have discussed in the past. It's why games like Titanfall 2, which is one of the best shooters of all time, it failed because they dropped it between Call of Duty and another big game. I think it was Battlefield 1 at the time. Cannibalization of sales, where you're trying to make sure that each project you release has a chance to breathe, to get marketing, to get sales, and stuff like that. And so with Microsoft, they're at a point where yes, if they kept stuff exclusive, it would measurably sell Xboxes. One of my favorite games in 2024, and I put it in my top 10 list of top 10 best games of the year, was Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. That game is so good. It is so charming. It is so freaking fun. If that was an Xbox console exclusive, not Game Pass, not anything, if there was old school Xbox where you bought your damn games, that would sell consoles. I will always die on that hill that all it takes to sell consoles is good exclusives. There was obviously that quote from Phil Spencer where he said, no matter how good Starfield is, we're not going to get you to sell your PS5 to buy it. Now, everybody laughed at that time because that's such a stupid quote. Obviously, we're not telling you that Starfield has to be so amazing that people are going to quit playing PlayStation, but Xbox seems to very vocally and publicly admit the fact that they no longer care about good games. They don't care about big exclusives. At this point, it is just about making the money back on what they've already invested, which is just such a baffling pivot. Now, next up, people are very much in a spot where it sounds like Xbox is bleeding cash. Apparently, Hellblade 2 not being on PlayStation 5 is considered to be a giant mistake. Now, obviously, I don't like Hellblade 2. I actually thought that game kind of sucked. I think I gave it a 4 out of 10. But Hellblade 2 being exclusive to Xbox, and nobody even played it on Xbox. I think it was like the 75th most played game on Xbox. The game bombed even on its own console. But a lot of people are saying, okay, if you didn't even have the chance to sell it on PlayStation, if you didn't even have a chance to make any of that money back, they consider it an exclusivity mistake. I see stuff like this. No way Fable goes to PlayStation. That would be devastating for their brand. Like, it would actually put them in the dirt. The game was monstrously expensive. It might not be day one, but it'll come out with the current plan in place. This is Jez Corden explicitly saying Xbox regrets not putting more games on PlayStation, that they need that money, that they need some way to recoup the costs. We have talked about this till we're blue in the face, but the fact that, me and the subscribers, I've talked about this on live streams over at Twitch, I've talked about this all the time, but it is very obvious that as game development gets more expensive, companies are trying to find ways to make that money back. Really crappy pre-order bonuses or microtransactions or season passes and stuff like that, right? Well, with Xbox, since they've been betting everything on Game Pass, they've now put themselves in a very dangerous position where they're not able to sell their games because people just get them on Game Pass, and now they're in a spot where people aren't even subscribing to Game Pass. They're getting to a spot where they can't get people to even play their games on Xbox. So they're kind of at a spot where they go, okay, we have to put this on PlayStation or nobody's going to see it. Nobody's going to play it, right? Okay, one last tweet here. I saw this Crab Gamer tweet. I'm not making fun of Crab Gamer. Again, nobody attack anybody in this video, but I did find this funny. A non-gaming CEO trying to redefine what it means to be an Xbox fan. F off. This dude wasted a full decade hoping his rants and complaints would make a difference. Crying emoji, laughing, crying emoji. It is weird to think about the fact that Satya Nadella just coming in and saying, I'm going to redefine what it means to be an Xbox fan. It's about enjoying games on all devices. Xbox is gone in the typical sense. If you're here still trying to get exclusives, big hype, big trailers that don't have a PlayStation logo at the end of it, it's over. I'm not going to pretend the PlayStation 5 is cheap. I'm not going to pretend the PlayStation 5 is, free or whatever like that. But I still say that it definitely seems like soon, if your options are to buy an Xbox Series X, which is $500, or to buy a PlayStation 5, which is $500, I think it's pretty wise. It's pretty obvious that you should probably go with PlayStation. Or obviously save up and get a PC where things are pretty damn good and graphics are definitely more customizable and you can mod everybody have big old watermelon titties. But I still am surprised to see the death of Xbox finally happening. But what do you guys think about this? Are you excited for the future of Xbox, or are you a bit crushed? Tell me your thoughts in the comments down below. And if you could, please give this video a like and subscribe if you haven't already. And please keep dreaming. Also, I mentioned this, but I've been streaming over on Twitch. If you want, go follow me on Twitch. I'm planning on streaming like every Sunday, and then also random days when I'm just in the mood. Thanks so much for watching that video. If you want to see something else, you can always click this link to see what I put up last, or, subscribe and see what's coming up next. Also, I promise that whatever I do, it'll try not to suck.